I got rained out last night. I was going to do some wrenching on the old Massey Ferguson. We'll take a walk over there a little later, but I need to do an oil change on the old F350 here. 6 liter Power Stroke diesel. It's a 2000, early 2004, 1 ton. And so I'm going to set you up here and we're going to see how long this takes. So there you go. You can see what I can see. I've already done a little bit of prep work here. Got my funnel ready for the oil refilled. I got my oil filter wrench ready to go. I've got a 1 7/16. I think this nut is actually 1.5, so that works just fine. So let's get to it. For a little bit. So it's been about 13,000 kilometers since the last oil change, which is I think just around 8,000 miles. Now it's a little long for service intervals, but 90 plus percent of the miles I put on this truck are all highway miles. So I'm doing highway speeds, so your engine lasts a lot longer. It does get as dirty, obviously, but running at highway speeds is much better for your engine than sitting idling in traffic in the cities. I got my genuine Motorcraft oil filter here. There's videos online about counterfeits, so you can go look those up, but this is a genuine Ford Motorcraft. Comes with the O-ring for the top here. I'm gonna have to run, go get a pick, I think, to pull that out. I've got all my tools set up, so you wouldn't see me running back and forth to the garage, going and running, fetching stuff. But I'm gonna hop underneath, drop the oil into a pan. I've got it all ready to go. I don't think you need to see me drain the oil out of the bottom. That's pretty straightforward. It's a 19 millimeter on this one, I believe. And we already looked in the manual here. Do it before our hands get all greasy. There we go. So this beast takes 14.2 liters or 15 quarts of oil. And I got an 18 liter or 20 liter can of synthetic Shell Rotella oil. So the longest part about this is going to be measuring out the oil. So talk amongst yourselves as I hop underneath here. Well, I got a 1 gallon jug and then a bigger pail. I'm going to just let the 1 gallon jug fill up and then fill the rest to a larger tub. An old piece of plywood on the ground so I don't spill any. there we go. While that drains, I can deal with the oil filter and start measuring out my oil. See if I have a pick here. Give me a minute. I'll be right back with a pick. Really wasn't much of anything stuck to the magnet on the end of the oil dipstick, so that's nice. Where's the camera? Yeah. Well, if you're familiar with the Fords, if you get aftermarket filters, they're different. And then when you go to put the cap on, they don't fit correctly. So that's why on this truck I stick with all OEM parts when it comes to filters and stuff, as much as I can versus aftermarket. So I just, I don't think this needs a real seal. This is just a felt seal. There. O-ring on the cap. And we got some people in here. I'm not paying any attention to the chats at the moment, but we'll have a little sit down in a little while. We can talk about what you're witnessing here. So this is kind of a diesel. It's not quite like a gas job where you just go hand tight. I don't think there's a torque specification for this cap, but we're just going to do Grunthal foot-pounds. Click. There. If you don't know what that is, just Google it. This is trash. All right, let's see how we're doing underneath. Should be all drained out, and then we can start measuring some oil. keys. There, that's that. Okay, let's move you over a bit here so you see what I'm doing. So we got our Shell Rotella T6 full synthetic oil. It's really the first time I've been using full synthetic in this truck. Last time I did semi-synthetic oil. I think that's adequate, but this was on sale. This was with taxes right around 200 Canadian pesos. So not cheap to do an oil change on this thing, especially when you need 15 quarts. And that filter was probably 70 bucks. So just a word of caution, if you're thinking of buying a diesel, the maintenance and everything is much costlier than a gasoline engine. All right, so we pulled that top, and then there's a little thingy here. Little air breather hole so it doesn't glug out. Let's get that out. Should be fine. And so I should really get one of those big oil-filled jugs, but this thing takes. Well, I figured it out. I need 6 of these. Six of these full. This is 2 3/4 quarts or 88 ounces. So then I need 15 quarts. So we'll fill this up 6 times on the ground here. So it'll be just under 6, but what I do is I'll put five of these in and then check the final level with the dipstick. So let's get you back seeing what I'm seeing. This is a tedious part of the video, so talk amongst yourselves. See if I can do this without spilling. See who's all here. I see Jody was here, Dad's here, Mr. Osgood. Good morning, everybody. Tanya's here. Welcome, welcome. You guys are gonna have to keep count for me. How many is this? 2, 3? I think this is 2. Actually, I only need 5 of these, right? No, 6. 6. That's 3, right? And again, when I went to torque the drain plug, you don't have to get on that thing like a 200-pound gorilla and reef that down with all your life energy. It's just sheet metal and a steel plug, and that thing strips out real easy. A lot of modern vehicle oil pans are plastic, so you don't want to damage those up. I see on the tank or the pan I got, you could always re-thread it in an emergency. It's not ideal, but you could. But it's just a couple of threads of sheet metal holding that plug, and so you don't have to go crazy on it. Ooh, showing off, doing left-handed. This is 4. I'm actually only going to put a portion of this in. I did park at a slight incline, so the oil drains towards the oil plug. I'm going to just start checking the dipstick to see where we're at. You don't want to overfill your engine with oil, because what ends up happening is, I think it's called like cavitation. Your oil starts frothing because there's too much. Like there's the pumps and the moving parts, like the bottom of the crankshaft, will actually stir up the oil in the oil pan, and then you lose all the protective abilities of that oil if it's a foamy froth. So let's just see where we're at. We're on the dipstick. Not quite there yet. That does take a few seconds for this to drain down. Yeah, I think we still need 1 to 1.5 quarts, 1.5 liters approximately. Just see where we are on the old dipstick, and as you can tell, my regular viewers, we're trying a vertical stream today. So we had this discussion last night. I put hashtags on the short promoting this video, so we'll see who shows up. Okay, I'm just going to stop right here, let that all drain down, then I'm going to check the oil again. And we're almost done, really. So I can tidy up some of this stuff here. Have a little talk for a bit. To be honest, I don't even know why I attempt mechanic work. I'm such a butterfingers. I drop everything. I don't know what it is. It's not lack of dexterity. It's just carelessness or foolishness or what. Hit that like to change your oil. Brent, did you make it to and back from the not today. We'll talk about that in a second. So once I have a set down and this is all buttoned up, but that's an afternoon, evening excursion I got to make into the city. If you could juggle chainsaws while filling and checking the oil. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to practice. Can I go back and look? Oh yeah, okay. Let's see, did anybody unsub? I always have this internal dialogue, but now I get to say hey to Jody. Hello, Dad. Yes, good morning. This year is the first time that I've owned a phone in 30 years. Well, never even take a video on your phone yet. Subscribe to view, but there's no content on it. Good morning, Mr. Osgood. Good morning, good morning. Love the purr. Oh, this one doesn't purr. It growls. There's no purring. This is a mean sounding truck. You don't walk up to this truck and just start petting it. Okay, so the chainsaw suggestion, I'll take that under advisement. See, I did make my little short promoting this thing. I don't know if anybody saw that or if any of you guys saw that. But then I kind of went live almost immediately, so I didn't give people a lot of time to react, respond to that short. But whatever, you snooze, you lose, and I got things to do. All right, so we're about halfway up. We're gonna put another liter or quart in here for you. We're getting close. So we'll just do like a quarter liter at a time. I probably need a whole liter yet, or a whole quart. There you go. Yeah, just another few teaspoons. And that's gonna be good. Yep, perfecto. Right up to the, where are we? To the camera. Right up to the maximum. Filthy under here. But living on gravel roads, that's comes with the territory. So I'm just going to fill this up as a spare jug to take with me on the road today. Then I'll transfer it to a proper oil jug. Check my level a little later on. That should be perfect. Yeah, just take that much with me. Now I can fill the whole thing. It's not going to spill. Lots of nice handy carrying compartments behind the back's rear seat. So it's not like it's going to spill over or anything. Close that up, shut that, take off the oil, get my lid. Yeah, and I gotta find what I do with my oil cap. Where'd you go? Oh, here we go. Right here, buddy. Right there. Click, click. Yeah, this engine needs a bit of a detailing, but if you want to see a nice looking 6-liter engine, go back and look at some of these shorts from way back when, some of the earliest ones of this engine when I was selling the truck or had it for sale. It just, it sparkled. It was gorgeous. Now, this looks like an old farm truck. Dust everywhere. We're not going to get into that. Oh, I'm going to wipe this up. Oil or coffee? Right, I want to grab my, I guess I can just walk you around with the tripod. Put this in here, swing you around. Yeah, it was on sale. I didn't check the regular price of what that oil was. But it's pretty costly. So yeah, just a couple more things to kind of wrap up this segment of the live stream. Handy tool is if you ever come across these platform, it's like a quick scaffolding setup. You just put a board across these two braces here and then stick some 2x4s in the legs and clamp them in. It's a quick little platform to stand on. I mean, they make these fancy creepers that you can lie on and hang, and like literally you're in this prone position, hovering above the engine. I don't know if I'd get into that. My glasses would probably be falling off continually. But yeah, I'm not tall enough to just reach into the engine from the ground, even with work boots on. Let's just take a quick stroll over to the Massey here. Been uncovering a little bit to confirm my suspicions, and we'll talk about what I sticky under here. More. What we can do, what I'm going to do on the next stream, as you can see the bare shiny metal there and up there. Those are two of the connecting rods, and so I want to take that one and that, where is it? Anyway, there's two of them. One there, another one right beside it. I don't know why I can sort of see it. Whatever. I'm gonna take those off time, and we'll shake the rods and see if there's enough play in there to justify doing a repair, or if I'm just gonna slap it all back together, stick some heavier oil in there, and call it a day. So let's find my coffee. Is there anything to drink over there? A lot of Dr. Pepper. This is not a good situation. Let's see here. Let's go have a seat. That was exhausting. All right. Let's come into my lounge here. Just give me a second to adjust my tripod. Whoa. Whatever, we'll make that work. It's just YouTube, it's not. It's not like it's TikTok or something. Anyways, who's still here? Glad all that didn't have to pay for that synthetic. Do you have regulations in Canada about disposing of waste oil? Oil burning stoves are a cost. There's a guy nearby that has an oil burning furnace, so I have a waste oil drum, so I'm not gonna show on video me walking over to the drum and emptying, but I got a couple of metal cans, 55-gallon drums, one for antifreeze and one for oil, and so disposal is burning. If I took it to the landfill, then yeah, they would have their protocols or something I would be required to do. I'd have to pay an extra fee for dumping oil there. But there are recycling places around. The big automotive chain here is Canadian Tire. And so there's a couple of their locations where they accept waste oil. Here you guys got time, right? But yeah, what you guys just saw there, that was all fake. See, you thought it went fast, eh? Well, let me just give you the inside baseball there. I went and picked up my garage sale signs this morning from the side of the highway. End of the road here. And pulled into the driveway and figured out where I was going to do the oil change, and then it was a matter of, okay, let's find a drain pan for my oil. And well, I don't have one that catches 15 liters that's shallow enough to fit under the truck. And as you can see, I didn't have to jack up the truck. Like, it has enough clearance that I could just crawl under there. And that's one thing I like about this truck. You don't, like when I was doing all the engine work it was a year ago already. I've been driving this for over a year. But in 2024, I did the whole top end. Well, not the valves and everything, but I replaced the oil pump, the high pressure oil pump. I replaced the oil cooler. I did a bunch of stuff. Rebuilt the turbo. And there's a lot of crawling up from underneath and above to get it all done. And you don't need a lift. I didn't put on jack stands. I just had it in the garage and had a creeper and worked from underneath because you got so much clearance there. So that's the one benefit. I mean, the thing barely fit in my garage, but I got it done. But in any case, yeah, it took me forever to find the pails I was going to drain the oil into, and then find my funnels, clean them out because they were all covered in cobwebs and dust and dead bugs. And then, well, what am I going to measure the oil into? So I was looking for jugs that had graduations on the side so that I could measure. And then, okay, gather the tools, and that took a little bit. So I had everything all set up, ready to go. In actuality, that oil change took me well over an hour. Just all the prep work. So that was all staged, all fake. That was not fake news, but fake mechanicking. So you didn't see all the prep work, and it's going to be another 10-15 minutes just cleaning it all up, putting my plywood back where it's supposed to go, and all that. So likewise with the Massey, I've done a little bit of the extra work. I've got it kind of set up, so I just got to turn 2 bolts and pull off the other nuts they're just finger tight, and then pop the bearings off, and then we can do what we got to do there. But that's going to be, I think, tomorrow, and we'll combine that with the music hall, which I'm going to make my trip into the Big Shitty and beyond to retrieve my precious LPs and CDs. So what we got going here? Crazy regulations in Canada. Welcome in, Fritz. Good to see you. Slightly off topic, but how long does it take you to cut down all that grass? Well, the front yard is very little. The backyard is maybe 1/4 of an acre, so it doesn't take terribly long. But when I do all the trimming and edging, the grass grows pretty fast here. So, you know, like doing all the edging around the shed. And last time I had the weed whacker out behind those lilac trees, and I mean, the grass was 2 feet tall plus there. And I don't know if you've seen around my kind of perennial rock bed or rock bordered garden beds there. Like that takes a long time. I could spend 2 hours just weed whacking, but the mowing, 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours. I'm in southern Manitoba, Fritz, undisclosed location near Grunthal. So, but I've sold the house and I'll be moving. So possession is September 1st. And instead of getting the place ready to move, I'm going off retrieving records. so that lets you know where my priorities are at. Saskatoon. Well, welcome in from Saskatoon. Did you find us through the short, or is that a joint or cigarette? These are what we call them up here, Indian smokes. So I don't know how, like, they're tailor-mades, but these are cheaper than when I was smoking like 30 years ago. So at the price they're selling at, you can't afford not to smoke. So welcome in, Killuminati 777. Nothing clandestine about that YouTube handle. So sounds like some clandestine operations there. Your dad was born in Manitou. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, just wanted to shoot that quick quick oil change video for you, but in reality, I mean, my dream is to have a shop where everything's all set up. I could pull my vehicle in, everything's at your fingertips, you know where it is. But in the process of selling the house, stuff is all over the place. There's piles of stuff staged to be moved out. And so I was crawling over stuff, looking for stuff. I knew where my tools were. It's not like I spent all day looking for tools, but to find a suitable pail, to find a suitable measuring thing, to go find my oil filter, I knew where it was. It's not like I had to search for that. All those things take time, and so you got to see what? Well, it was 42 minutes. You got to see, half an hour. And if I wasn't talking on camera here, I might have saved a few minutes, but half hour to do an oil change, that's not bad. But all the extra prep work, that was probably 45 minutes, just scampering around. And had to go into the kitchen cupboards to find that measuring jug. And so you got to take the work boots off, put the Crocs on so you don't track mud all over the floor. So all that takes time. That adds up. I had to add that to my bill. So, but fairly routine oil change. So that's what's involved with most infernal combustion engines. You might get some odd ones, but that one's pretty straightforward. There's no need to fill the oil filter with oil because, in fact, because the oil filter is sitting on top of the engine, there's a little plug that actually drains the oil back into the crankcase. So you can't fill that with the oil filter out. So that's apparently a topic of discussion in YouTube circles. I've never filled oil filters. For the brief startup period that after the oil change, that oil is still going to be, the old oil from prior to the oil change is still going to be coating the sides of your cylinders and any moving parts. So it's not like it's a bone dry engine. So the low pressure oil pump on this truck, it's going to fill up that oil filter and get the oil to where it needs to go. You're not going to be doing any damage by not filling oil filters. Even if the oil filter was on the bottom of the engine, I've never filled oil filters. Death in the family, divorce, and moving are the three most stressful events that we have to deal with in life. You are a trooper. Yeah, I don't know about troopers. Just I stress over other things, I guess. Like, what am I gonna do with these cats? Well, actually, no. Like, look at these assholes. They're at the age where the answer to everything is violence. So they're going through that phase where they're learning how to play, how much aggression they can show before they get disciplined by mama. I don't even know where mama is, but normally the mother would come and give the one a swat on the head for being too rough, too aggressive. So that's how they learn. And they're pretty socialized with me. So if they do something I don't like, they get a little flick on the tip of their nose or something just to tell them to cool it. But that's how they learn how to be functioning members of cat society and coexist with the humans. I myself am still learning how to coexist with the humans. So, and that's that. So I think we're gonna wrap this up. Like, it's 11 a.m. here. This has been a 45-minute stream. I think it's high time I start making my way to deal with the errands here. Get a look at this gorgeous little, say hi, classic 80s actor. This one loves me. She loves attention. So somebody actually came this weekend. They want to adopt this one. And this one, they all come for attention, but the one I showed you previously, this little fluff ball, it's got this furry coat. So that came, I don't know where that genetics came in, but I got some real fluff balls here. So this one will stay. The new family that's moving in here, they got 6 kids. So they wanted a couple of kittens left behind. So they'll have their kitten therapy. Classic 80s actor. So which classic 80s actor does Brent look like? My mom's cousin always said I looked like Tom Cruise. That used to bug me. I was like, I'm more handsome than Tom Cruise. Like, why you don't make me ugly. I didn't actually. I had a girlfriend said the same thing. So maybe there's something there. But I don't think Tom ever did the bearded woodsman wild bush creature look. And then of course there's Max. So let's say hi to Max. Hey, buddy. Oh, he's distracted. So there we go. Tomorrow I'll probably shoot for an evening stream to do that wrenching on the Massey, and I'm going to try a short. I'm probably on Top Chat. Who's Max? Hi, Max. I don't see Max, but Jody's back. Loving the kitten action, kitten therapy, yeah. What else is there anything else I need to cover this morning? I think that's it. So yeah, I'm gonna do another short with 3 hashtags. Take this oily bandage off because it's not keeping my little wound clean at this point, covered in oil. And we'll go over the music hall as well as that little diagnosis on the tractor. Dog's name is this Max. Yeah, that's Max. Sorry, I thought you were talking to a Max in the chat. But there we go. Live fake mechanicking on camera, posted to YouTube in real time. It can be done if you know the scams and have everything all set up ahead of time. So that's the thing. No edits, just press play and away we go. Anyways, I gotta get cleaned up and make my way, start pedaling down the highway. I've probably got about 6 or 7 stops to make. Tanya, if you're home, send me a text and I'll stop by. I'll be on that side of the city. And there we go. So until tomorrow, unless something comes up or I do something later tonight, I think I'm going to be back. I don't know when. I'd like to be back as early as possible, but it might be a little too late to do any streaming by the time I get back from my excursion. So thanks for coming. Thanks for subbing. Appreciate it. Go check out the old videos. There's a little bit of mechanicking videos. I did a live stream back when I started this channel. I did a playlist of the things, the creators that inspired me to become a creator myself. And so one of the YouTube genres that I've been utilizing over the years, I've been, like probably most of you, using YouTube as a source of information and entertainment. And I mean, what else? I guess you could use it for business purposes, but there's one whole episode I did on the gearheads, the mechanics, the car guys. So if you're into wrenching and that kind of stuff, there's a little bit of that content. There's a couple of more video shorts with featuring the 6-liter Power Stroke diesel. A couple of shorts where I whine about engineers. One of my longtime subscribers actually is an engineer, so he had to say, whoa, 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 cool it. And then I kind of pushed back and said, yeah, but you guys did this, you do that, you do that. And so mechanics and engineers are never going to see eye to eye on certain things. My feeling is stuff is over designed. A lot of this technology is not necessary on a lot of the modern vehicles. So many sensors, so much to go, so much more to go wrong. This 2004, it's still of that era of vehicles where it's easy to work on. I do have a nice scan tool, so I can check what the computer is doing. You know, if you got that dreaded check engine light, you know, all that's saying is the engineered failure. There's that aspect is troublesome. But you know, let me just finish my thought. That check engine light is just the computer is seeing something from some sensor that it doesn't like. The computer isn't happy, and it wants you to know that. So if you can get a scan tool or get the codes, that'll lead you in the direction. It's not a diagnosis, but it'll tell you what the computer is losing sleep over, and then you as the mechanic have to track down the problem. So just running to O'Reilly's or the parts source or parts store that you know, they'll do a free scan for you. It doesn't tell you much. You have to be able to interpret what those codes are telling you. So just because it says O2 sensor doesn't mean you go replace the O2 sensors. You know, this truck, diesels don't have O2 sensors. The air fuel ratio is not as strict as with modern, especially turbocharged engines. So there's lots to say about it. Lots of really great mechanics out there. So I did some good shout outs to the guys that I really appreciate the video and content they've been putting out. Learned a lot. I mean, everything I learned to do on this Ford was DIY and by watching YouTube videos. You know, I've got manuals, the online, you can download manuals. If you go on forums, look up your make, model, vehicle type in whatever forum, whether it's Honda or BMW, good Lord, or you know, whatever vehicle you have, there's probably a forum out there, and somebody is kind enough to post an e-manual for you, so you can look up the specifications, you can look up the parts diagrams, the rata, and eat everything from the back. I have no idea what that means, but welcome in, Jamie. You missed the live repair, but we're just almost ready to say goodbye for the last 10 minutes now, because I got stuff to do and running out of daytime already. It's 11:15. I won't be on the road until noon, and like I say, I got miles to travel before I sleep. And where we go, we can talk about more. Let's talk about the engineered failure. Yeah, it's not so much engineered failure, it's the way they cram so much into so little space. When you go to service anything, it is like a nightmare. It all fits together. You know, from the factory, you know, the last thing they do is drop the body on and then hook everything up. But a lot of repairs on this truck, you got to take the cab right off the frame. Say if you wanted to do the head gaskets or something, like there's just not enough clearance because you got the heater box and the heater fan on the one side that interferes, and on the other side you got there's so much disassembly. And just go look on YouTube, you know, engineer fails. Changing a fuse, I forget, was it I think it was a BMW. You had to disassemble like half. You had to pull the battery, you had to pull uh, pull the cowl uh, like just between your windshield and the hood, so that plastic cover, and then you have to go digging in there, remove the windshield wiper motor, remove several other components before you get to the fuse box, where the fuse box, it should be like right on top. And so changing a fuse turns into a $700 job because it's 3 hours of labor to pull all that garbage out of the way. It's a saying I be saying on Kelcat 34 live stream. All right, eat everything. Oh yeah, last night we were giving shout outs to all the channels and creators, so I'll get you on the next one. And you specialized tools. I've been able to, I've got tools to make tools. So sometimes you find yourself where you need that one specialty tool. But a lot of times just a good swing press, otherwise known as a ball peen hammer, a good heavy ball peen hammer, and a good drift, which is just a piece of steel. I've laid some welds, but I'm no welder. I've been able to fuse two pieces of steel together, but I would just weld stuff for myself on the farm here. I wouldn't weld anything that's going on the road. I would say take that to a welder, and we have a great welding. There's welders all over the place here. I'm in Mennonite country, and everybody welds. And we got some really good shops. I could swing an angry kitten in any direction and hit a welding shop here. So that's a nice thing about being in the country, is the tradespeople. Everybody's got skills, so you don't have to. And everybody knows everybody, so it's easy to get referrals too. You know who's good, you know who's bad. But like the shop in town, their shop rate is $125 or $140 an hour for welding. So any machining you want to get done, it's going to cost you. So I've learned to just figure out stuff myself, do a workaround, and just get it done. My old tractor. Okay, maybe I'm not the last owner of this thing. If I was staying here, I'd keep it. But I'm not interested in keeping that old tractor, so somebody else is going to get a little bit more use out of it. But I rebuilt the hydraulic cylinders because one cylinder shit the bed there, and I found a way to get it done at minimal cost, not at $140 an hour. So it did cost a bit of money. I got one shop to. What did I do? I had to get something machined, and it needed to be done either on I think it was on a lathe. Something had to be shaved down. Oh yeah, what we did, we rebuilt. What the heck was it? Oh yeah, the piston. So there's a piston inside, and it was all chowdered up. And so what we ended up doing is I took it to a guy who does aluminum welding, and so he put a bead around it and then laid it down back to the proper proper specifications, the outside dimensions. So that was the workaround. Rather than try to either find a new cylinder, I could have hunted around, but I probably would have to buy two, because it'd be hard to find the exact length of cylinder for cheap and just replace one. So I'd end up getting two. And if I went to the parts store, they're probably $250 each for new ones. And it's like, I don't want to put $500 into this old tractor. So it cost me maybe $100 for the new seal kit and to get that machining done. So there's ways to save a few bucks. And $400, that's a few bucks. I'd rather have in my pocket than the welding shop's pocket. So there you go. That's the way we roll around here. Anyways, we'll call it quits for now. We plumb went over an hour, so that's plenty. So love y'all. Thanks for coming, and stay tuned. we'll see you at the latest tomorrow. Have a great one.